Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, I'm on the workshop looking for a map to review. Sometimes one just leaps off the page as being potentially exceptional. This week, this is that map. The two words, potentially exceptional. I say that because at this point, you don't know, and at this point, I didn't know the point that I was recording this particular bit of footage. So there's only one way to find out. Is to get down and have a look in first hand. Now it is 100% vanilla. There is no assets apart from the theme, which is a custom created theme by the map maker themselves. There's plenty more to talk about in today's episode, but before we get on and do that, yes, as always, if you want to play along with BonBonBingo, the link is in the description. Grab yourself a bingo card and check off the memes as we go. And of course, I'm going to ask you, please, daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Ferry Bay by Larky. Larky. And there's definitely a 5-star creator in there somewhere. Let's have a look at that start square. Start square looks very usable. No intersection, but you don't really strictly need one. But it'd be nice, I feel. It certainly adds to playability. Plenty of decent playable height in the map as well. The resources are very strong. Yes, a little bit of field painting, but they are big, strong fields, so that is good. And then if we want to do some fishing, and you've got Sunset Harbour, we have all of the little fishies as well. Brilliant. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's 100% vanilla, so nothing to subscribe to apart from that link. Now that theme is actually in that Fairy series assets. It's at the top of that list, but all of the rest of the assets you don't need. That's for, well, the series that I believe that they're doing. I don't know what the series is, but anyway, they have made a few other maps before. Oh, we've got a slightly encroaching tree here. That's the only one that we're going to see today. It's not actually on the highway, so it doesn't matter quite so much. And yes, there is something else that very observant regular viewers will have spotted. I'm going to leave that for now. We'll cover that later. Yes, they've made a few maps. They all have fairy in the title, which makes me think that the 5 stars in Larky might be fairy. Larky Fairia. And that's what we're going to call them from now on. But I'm going to leave their name as printed on the screen because I doubt it's fairy. I very much doubt it's fairy. Anyway, yes, the map looks amazing. The shape of the land looks amazing. The mountains look amazing. I'm going to call this a fantasy map because we do have what they describe in the description as a sky lake, which is basically a caldera, a volcano completely filled with water, spewing water. We've got some fairly decent looking rivers as well. I wouldn't say they were polished to the very next levels, but some fairly decent looking rivers. Some strong coastlines without being highly polished. When we get to the coastlines, you'll see what I mean by that one. As I've actually done a tutorial on how to make good looking beaches, well, you'll see I'd say a slightly clunky-ish looking river there. I mean, the rivers are good, but not great. And good is fine. Don't think that, oh, they're not great is a negative. Look, oh, hang on, start square. Look, start square. There you go. That's where we are on the map right now. Yes, just because something isn't great doesn't mean it's not good. We've also got a little gap in the trees there. I reckon that's where the highway was originally, and then they may have moved it. Possibly. I don't think it matters that much. Yes, good is good, and I stand by that with this map. There are a few which probably could do with a little bit more work. Specifically, there'll be a windy one we'll have a look at in the second half of the show. But they're big, they're strong, they're in your face, and would fit in with what you would describe as a fantasy map. Now, we do have a second highway and a second rail connection, which run along more towards the coastline. We followed the highway here because this is the highway that goes to the start square. This rail is less realistic. I think we'll go with that one than the other one. The other one, which I showed you, if I showed you the other one, you go, oh, this is okay. This is fine. This one, we're going down a couple of steps here, just a couple of minor steps. No huge, I mean, it's a fantasy map. We can allow for a little bit of this. But I thought we'd come along a little bit of elevated at ground level, causing some shark's teeth there. Minor stuff. But I thought I'd follow this route. As you're going to see in a minute, it follows a different route. When I say different, it's a sort of route that if this was Anapu Merinesiaru, this would be, I mean, be polished to the nth degree if it was, because that's the sort of creator they are. Oh, by the way, they've got a map on tomorrow's show. Little bit of foretelling of what's coming in the future there. But yes, what we've got here is a route that is for the last part, and the last part is along the edge of the map, so if you don't like it, you probably would never see it. Concentrate on doing your city build over here. But they've tried to do something a bit different, and I give credit for trying to do something a little bit different. I feel it kind of works with the map, but it's not polished enough to be what I would call good. It's interesting. Interesting's the word I'll go with for this. So anyway, we're now going up into the hills again. Realists won't like the line, the route the rail's taken, but it's not stupidly steep. It's just Cities Skylines level of anyway. Heading up to the edge of the map, and we've got this ravine with plateaus in it, and a rail line that tries to stay flat and doesn't quite manage it, but it's not bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're following my line here. It's yes, it's not a finely polished ravine with a finely polished rail line running through it, but anybody who's seen Anapu's rail map will know what I'm talking about. Intermission.
Everybody's favorite factories everywhere these days. Look, there's even one in the back of this hoodie. Want one for yourself? Then click the information button now. Come on, you know you want to.
And back to the shipping routes at Ferry Bay by Larky Ferrier. And we've got two shipping routes. Now the bridges here, which we haven't seen because we didn't come the coast routes, they're a little bit low for vanilla shipping. And they're actually a little bit low for custom shipping as well. No matter what boat you have running through there, they're going to be just clipping the underside of those bridges. Not really much we can do about it, I'm afraid. Not really, especially this road bridge is a bit... Anyway. And all the ships are going to come in and out of the harbour, whether you want them to or not. And some of you will like that, and some of you won't. Water flow, this is it. It's this lake. There's no real water flow in the lake. It's not going to appeal to a lot of people. But yeah, if we could just add a little bit of motion in that lake so that we could have pumped the sewage in without it polluting the actual water pumping. That would have been better. Now, this highway, this is the one that I said would go along. We've got the rail running sort of parallel as well. And it's fine. It's fine. This is okay. But the bridges are, well, they're not really perfect. It's a big old bridge, and everybody does love a big old bridge, but it's a very clunkily done big old bridge. And the rail runs parallel, sort of, alongside it. Now, we're going to have a look at some of the detailing, and I still haven't covered that one issue that regulars will already have picked up on. We have this little bay over here, which could do with just a little bit of smoothing on the sand, but it's not bad. I like the shape of it, and I like the shape of these as well. Not so much the formation of the sand on the beaches. I have a tutorial for that. Okay, perfect beaches. Perfect tutorial for that one. The masterclass is like search masterclass on my channel, you'll find it. And then this windy river is just a little bit gouged. Doesn't quite look as polished as it could do. Meanwhile, the river over this side I really like. It's wide, it's big, it's strong. The waterfalls look good, but we've just can see a little bit of the grass, a little bit of the green under the top edge of the waterfall as well. And it's slightly off-putting aesthetically, just slightly, but all told, I still like these waterfalls, even regardless of that. But yeah, you can see the same on that waterfall as well, just the edge. You need to get a little bit of the green going on there. And then we head up into the Sky Lake, which, like I say, fantasy map. We can allow for this in the fantasy map. And I like a lot of this, you know. I like a lot of what we're seeing here. It just lacking a little bit of the top level finesse, but it's still a very, very strong fantasy map and pretty playable as well, I would say. Right, I think we should head towards the start square because we have the asset of the day, which to my surprise turned out to be 5 assets of the day. Are you ready? Here we go. It's the NYNY Tower by XDBX, which is the New York Tower, which is in Chingchong, China? I'm sorry if I've just butchered the name of that city. Yes, you've got the tower, and then you've got the podium, and then you've got this box tower as well with a little one alongside it, and then a podium alongside that one as well. And factoids, because factoids. As it's fairies, I figured we'll find the fairy factoid. So this may or may not be entirely accurate, given that the factoid is about fairies. In order to collect teeth, your fairy must sit 3 exams in fairy school. It may seem like a very simple task to you or me, but it's quite specialised and difficult to do, especially when a tooth is left under a sleeping human's pillow. All house fairies graduate from fairy school at the age of 12. So there we go. Apparently those are fairy factoids, straight off of a fairy factoid site. Who knew there were fairy factoid sites? They were facts 18 and 19 as well. There's a whole bunch that I refused to read out. NYNY Tower by XDBX. Glad to see XDBX back. Because they were pumping out some really great assets and they just disappeared. Probably playing something else. And now they're back. I love it. I love it. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, let's start off with the aesthetics, as always. I like the overall shape of the map. I like the design. I like the theme. I think the theme works really very nicely indeed. It needs polishing. It needs a bit of polishing. I still think I can push it into 4 stars, but very only just. Very only just. Detailing. Yeah. There's some nice bits, but there's a lot holding it back. I think we've got to go middle 3. I think on this one, middle 3. Gameplay potential. I think this would be a very playable map. I probably would go to maybe medium low 4 stars. But regulars will have already spotted we're using the 4-lane mass transit roads and it's not listed on the workshop. Therefore I have to assume you don't have mass transit, therefore we have to assume that this map is broken and it gets 1 star. Ferry Bay by Larky Farrier, or whatever those 5 stars are meant to be. You know, I still like that. I was erring on giving it the seal of approval, even though it was getting 1 star for gameplay. But I don't think I can. If I'm saying the map is broken, I can't give a seal. But I really like that. I would very happily play on that one, polishing it up as you're going along. Quite neat. Anyway, there's only 20 seconds left, which means you are in the 20 and out elite. Use the words of the day in the comments, score yourself some population points just for fun to prove you're part of that 20 and out elite. And I will be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series, and it's from a creator who we mentioned earlier.